Hi everyone, welcome back to English Explorers with Ridhima. It's always a joy to have you here because every time we meet, we get a little closer to mastering English together. Let me ask you something today. Have you ever spoken in English, felt confident, and then realized that you made a small mistake? Maybe someone corrected you, or maybe you caught it yourself. How did that feel? A little frustrating, right? Yes. So here's the truth. Mistakes are not bad. They are proof that you are learning. The real problem isn't making mistakes. It's repeating them without realizing. So, today in this session, we are going to gently walk through 20 of the most common mistakes English learners usually make. We will understand why they happen and explore the correct ways to say things. And while we go through each one, I want you to reflect, have you made this mistake before? This way, we are not just memorizing rules, we are actually understanding them. So grab a notebook, let's get comfortable and start learning and understand in a calm and a steady way. So the first mistake is with the very basic and common mistake. Many learners say she go to school every day. Now can you identify that what's wrong here in this sentence? The verb go is in its base form, but in English, when we talk about the present tense with he, she or it, we must add an s. Why does this mistake happen? Usually because in many other languages, verbs don't change based on the subject. So the learners naturally forget the S. The correct way is she goes to school every day. The small addition of S makes the sentence grammatically correct and complete. I have few more examples to explain you this mistake in a more understanding way. He plays cricket on Sundays. She reads a book before bed. It rains a lot in July. Have you ever forgotten to add s after he or she or it? Type yes or no in the chat and provide me with the basic sentences using s with these subjects. Let's move on to the next mistake. Some learners often say, I am agree. This happens because in many languages, the verb to be is used with all adjectives and some verbs. But in English, the verb agree does not need am. It already expresses the state or action on its own. So the correct version is simply and in the most basic format, I agree. It's not necessary to use the word am between the two subjects. It's short, direct, and grammatically correct. Saying it this way makes your speech sound natural and confident. I have some few examples for your better understanding. I disagree with that opinion. She prefers tea over coffee. Have you said I am agree before? It's a very common mistake and now you know the simpler and the correct form. Let's proceed with the next mistake. This mistake happens when learners forget that modal verbs like can, should, will, or may are always followed by the base form of the main verb. Saying he can sings adds an extra s unnecessary. The correct sentence is he can sing. Using the base form ensures your English is grammatically accurate and professional. So, the few examples for your better understanding are she can drive a car. They should go now. Always remember that the modal verbs never take extra endings. Have you added an S after can, should, or will by mistake before? Let me know in the comment section and I'll help you with the correct form of the verb. Also, I'll be going with the live session with the modal verb soon. So stay tuned and I'll let you know in the details as well. So coming back to the session, next mistake I have for you, I am feeling good. People usually use this in a very casual speech. It is often used in formal context. The present continuous is usually for temporary or ongoing actions, not for the general states. When you are describing your general state, English prefers the simple present tense. So instead of saying this, I am feeling good, you should use this, I feel good. It's clear, natural, and avoids unnecessary complexity in your sentences. The examples I have for you in a much better way is I feel tired after work. She feels happy about the results. Can you think about your last conversation? Did you ever say I'm feeling good? When you could simply say I feel good. Such kind of small adjustments really make your English more natural, powerful, and strong. I hope you're enjoying the session. If you are feeling any kind of confusion, not able to understand any kind of mistake, you can use the chat box and I'm gonna help you with your answers. Okay, moving to the next mistake, using don't instead of doesn't with he, she, or it is another very common mistake. Many learners naturally use don't for all subjects because that's how it works in some languages. But in English, for third person singular, it changes to doesn't. The correct sentence is he doesn't like pizza. This small change makes your English grammatically correct and easy to understand. For example, she doesn't watch TV often. It doesn't matter what they say. Have you said he don't before? Don't worry, it's one of the most common mistakes for learners. Please help me with your understanding that whether you able to understand this mistake or not, and throw some examples on the chat box. Okay, moving on to the next mistake. Many learners make this mistake because they translate directly from their native language, where the word for very often comes from the verb. In English, however, very usually modifies adjectives or adverbs, but never the verbs. Placing it before the verb makes the sentence sound awkward and unnatural. So, instead of saying this, I very like it, you can use it, I like it very much. This way, understand this point. This way, you are emphasizing your liking in a grammatically correct and smooth way. It sounds polite, clear, and confident. Other examples for your better understanding are: she appreciates your help very much. They enjoy the movie very much. So, next time, whenever you want to express strong liking, remember to place very after the verb. Always. This small change makes your English sound polished and professional. Can you help me with some sentences if you have in your mind while studying this mistake? And accordingly, we'll move with the next mistake. Okay. Moving on to the next mistake, it's like very often. Some people might not agree, but it is the most common, and people generally takes it in a very red direction. But I'm gonna let you know how we are actually using it in a very wrong way. In English, we always use the preposition to after married. But saying married with is incorrect and often happens because in many languages, the word for with is used in this context. Using the wrong preposition can make your English sound unnatural and confusing. So the correct usage would be: she is married to a doctor. She is married with a doctor is a wrong sentence. She is married to a doctor is a correct sentence. This small change in preposition makes your sentence accurate, professional, and easy to understand. For example, he is married to my cousin. I am married to a wonderful person. Always remember, when you're talking about marriage in English, remember to use it's married to someone. This subtle difference matters a lot for clear communication and understanding. It reflects that how you are so much fluent and have that knowledge on that grammatical errors. This mistake happens when learners forget that modal verbs such as can, should, will, and may are always followed by the different formats. So, as I've always said, that it can always should be used in the base form. So, she can sings very well. Instead of using this, you can use it, she can sing very well. If you have any confusion, any problem, not able to understand any kind of mistake, please shoot it in the chat box and I'm gonna help you with your answers and here to provide you with the English learning. Okay. Moving on to the next mistake. This mistake comes from translating directly from other languages, where age is expressed with have. In English, age is always expressed with the verb to be plus years old. Using have makes the sentence grammatically wrong and confusing. So the correct sentence would be I am 25 years old. This makes your statement clear, accurate, and natural. For example, she is 30 years old. She is 40 years old. He is 60 years old. In English, you are years old. You don't have them. This simple adjustment helps you to avoid a very common error. It's a very common error people generally use in their daily conversations. So remember it. Whenever you are using that I have 25 years, instead of using this have, you should use I am 25 years old whenever you are talking about the age. Moving on to the next mistake. He didn't went to the school. I really wanted to know that how many of you have gone through my tenses videos, which I have shared with a number of examples and understanding, in which each and every particular tense I have made it clear that with which base form we must use the second form and the third form of the verb. Let me know in the comment section and then accordingly we'll proceed with this mistake, and I have explained this mistake over that video. Okay, so let's get started. This mistake actually happens because learners sometimes add ed or s to the main verb even after using did in the past tense. Whenever we are using did, then we are obviously talking about the past situation, the things which have already taken place. But many users or many English learners don't use the first form of the verb. They actually use the second form or the third form of the verb. So the correct sentence would be he didn't go to school. Notice that go stays in its base form even though we are talking about the past. She didn't eat breakfast this morning. They didn't watch the movie yesterday. Always remember, did already indicates past tense. So the main verb doesn't need any changes. This is a very common mistake. So pay a very close attention to this. I hope you're enjoying the session, and I really wanted to make my every video and every session in a very joyful and a playful mood and with full of love and fun. So if you're facing any kind of issue and not able to understand any kind of mistake, even with a very basic one, so you can pin me or you can let me know your queries through the comments or the chat box. I'm readily available for your queries so that you can able to understand the English in a very good way. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Many learners confuse boring and bored. Boring describes something that causes boredom, while bored describes how you feel. Using the wrong one changes the meaning completely. So the correct sentence would be I am bored. This tells someone about your feeling, not about you as a person. She is bored with the lecture. They are bored at home on weekends. If you're talking about your own feeling, using bored, not bored. Misusing this is a very, very common error. Next mistake I have for you that learners usually make, that they mix the present perfect tense with a specific time in the past. In English, the present perfect is not used with specific past time expressions like last year, yesterday, or in 2015. The correct sentence would be I visited Paris last year. It's a very simple past because you are mentioning a specific time. For example, she watched that movie yesterday. They went to the beach in July. Use present perfect only for experiences without a definite time. I have visited Paris. It's not a specific year mentioned. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Many learners try to combine very with comparatives, saying things like, he is very tall than me. The mistake happens because in some languages, emphasizes words like very are used with comparisons. But in English, the comparative form itself already expresses difference. So adding very is incorrect. It doesn't add any value to the sentence because we are in English, we are having a topic called comparatives. And using those comparatives in our sentences already makes our English in a much better way. So the correct sentence would be he is taller than me instead of he is very tall than me. This communicates the same idea clearly and naturally. Comparatives like taller, faster, stronger already imply the comparison. So extra words aren't needed. The road is longer than the one we took yesterday. She is smarter than her brother in mathematics. Always remember, when comparing two things, always use the comparative form and avoid adding very before it. I really want you to put some comparative sentences in the chat box and then we are going to proceed with the another mistakes. Okay. Now moving on to the next one. We have some learners use the present continuous with since or for, saying things like, I'm working here since 2015. The problem is that present continuous describes actions happening right now, not actions that started in the past and continue till now. The correct form is I have been working here since 2015. The present perfect continuous shows that the action started in the past and is still continuing, which is exactly what you mean. They have been living in the city for 10 years. I have been learning English since I was 10. Using the right tense makes your English precise and professional, especially when talking about ongoing situations. Next mistake I have for you is about the explanation and the rules. In English, certain verbs like explain require a preposition before the indirect object. Learners often say, she explained me the rules because in many languages you can directly attach the object. But in English, you need to connect this action to the person. So, the correct sentence is she explained the rules to me. This makes it more clear that the rules were explained to you, not that you somehow become the rules. For example, he taught the lesson to the students carefully. The manager showed the report to the team. Paying attention to preposition after verbs is very crucial. It really keeps your sentences grammatically correct and easy to understand. If you want, I can have the another live session with you all on the prepositions where I'm gonna explain how the different kind of prepositions have been used for the different purposes. Okay, now moving on to the next one. This is a very common mistake with past tense verbs. Learners sometimes add ed or change the verb after did, saying I didn't went there. As we have already explained in our previous mistakes, that did always been used in the past sentences. So we must always use the base form of the verb when we are already indicating about the past tense. Next one I have for you. Learners often confuse interesting and interested. Interesting describes something that causes interest, while interested describes how you feel. Saying I'm interested in music incorrectly suggests you are the one making music interest. The correct sentence would be I am interested in music. This clearly communicates the purpose. your feeling, and your preference. So the examples for your better understanding are: he is interested in learning new languages. They are interested in science and technology. If you have any kind of sentence with the word interested, then let me know in the chat box and I'll be happy to share and give a shout out to those people. So, understanding the difference between adjectives ending in ed and ing is very important. It's gonna make your English accurate and easily understood by native speakers. And now we had covered a lot for today. Looking back these common English mistakes, I hope you have realized something important. Making mistakes is a natural part of learning. Every time you notice one and correct it. So you are taking a step forward, and that's growth, that's not failure. Think about your own conversations over the past week. How many times did you catch yourself saying something differently after today's session? Even small awareness makes a big difference. The goal is not perfection, but progress. Remember, English is a tool to connect, share, and express yourself. Whenever your sentences are clearer and more natural, your confidence grows and people respond positively. That's the true power of learning. It's not just about grammar, it's about communication and connection. So here's what I want you to do: pick one or two mistakes that stood out today and concisely work on them this week. Notice how your conversations change and how much more confident you feel. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Your curiosity and commitment to learning inspire me every day. If you enjoyed this session, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to English Explorers with Ridhima, and leave a comment telling me which mistake you're gonna correct first. Keep exploring, keep practicing, and remember, every little improvement counts. See you in our next team. Until then, stay confident and keep speaking English and courage kindness.